The year is 2000. Some dude in Britain has just rediscovered a poster from Blitz London and restarted the UK's oldest meme. Welcome to Keep Calm and Harry On.
Reboot, Charmed, episode 10.
Yep. Okay, it's probably not Britain's oldest meme.
But it's probably close.
Because Shakespeare?
True.
Or actually, I'd have to do more research. There might be something from, like, Chaucer or some shit.
Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Keep calm and ... Mm-hmm. It is by far one of my favorite.
It's so
crazy things.
It's so, like, British basic white girl.
Yeah. And I love it.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Anyway,
let's get into that recap, shall we?
Yes. Let's recap this this wonderful episode.
Yes. She doesn't mean that ironically either, guys. They're going to be surprised. Anyway, let's start. We open on a blue-tinted scene of a 50s bank robber fleeing his crime and running straight into a bobby. That's a cop, for those of you not in the know.
Mm-hmm.
His mask is ripped off to reveal a smug-looking Harry. Flash to the present, where some lizard creature is using memory scorpions to torture Harry in just one of many dry, hellish wells. The girls and Elder Pantsuit have run out of ideas for freeing Harry, and EP still doesn't know Galvin has witnessed more than he should. Maggie does a potion to keep from feeling the pain of Parker's betrayal. Really, it's more of a poultice. Galvin, much to Macy's surprise, is taking the truth very well. Alistair has a confrontation with Dr. Wagner and Parker at the lab. At Sarkana HQ, the witch they liberated is incubating in a device that runs on Hellflame. Jada tells Mel of a nearby guarded gate to Tartarus, and that she should hurry. Another Scorpion gives Harry a blue-tinted memory, and he is beginning to suspect their veracity. Mel suggests trading Harby for Harry. Parker tries to get Maggie to talk, but she runs home to apply more poultice. At the lab, Macy and Galvin break into Dr. Wagner's office to spy on her computer. To cover for her presence when she returns, they make out on her desk. She finally tells Galvin she's a virgin. Macy, not Dr. Wagner. Elder Pantsuit doesn't approve of the girl's plan, but she eventually agrees to it. The supposed can is proffered. The girls find Dante, who gets angry when he finds the paint can empty. Maggie tries to read his thoughts, but her emotional ice pack renders his powers useless. Dante turns his hand into a key and tosses her into Tartarus. The girls have to find the real Harby, or else. Elder Pantsuit realizes that Alistair Kane made her switch the paint cans, so Mel and Macy go to Parker's frat to enlist his help. Maggie, like Harry, is not having a fun time in Alcatraz. They chat through the walls, and Harry offers to get her scorpions for her. Mel, Macy, and Parker successfully retrieve Harby, and Mel grabs some hellfire on a whim. Alistair mesmerizes the truth out of Dr. Wagner. The Harbinger is handed off to Dante, Harry and Maggie are released, and Alistair crashes the party. After being unable to free Hunter and getting a file to the head, he goes full Flamey Skull and starts throwing fire at them. Maggie grabs her sisters, and together they make some kind of love-fueled shield that pushes Alistair out of the building. The can of Harby is tossed into Tartarus, and everyone heads home to recoup. Elder Pantsuit arrives and is enlisted to give Harry some proper tea. She comforts him, letting him know she's broken the rules to see his memories and his still-living son. Parker stops by again to let Maggie know that his dad is skipping town. Mel gives the hellfire to Jada, and they share some smoochies, which Nico, in the background of the bar, photographs. Galvin drops by to apologize for the way he took Macy's news, and to give his own. Apparently, Dr. Wagner was sequencing the girl's DNA and discovered that Maggie and Macy are the ones who share a father, instead of Maggie and Mel. The end.
Yeah.
So, just to end on that note, Maggie's black?
She's Blaxican. She is apparently supposed to be Afro-Latina. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Now, having been to set, I can tell you that there are a bunch of photos of them as children, like of Melanie Diaz and Sarah Jeffrey as children. And honestly, like, as a little kid, Sarah's kind of got the hair that you would expect from someone who's Afro-Latina heritage. But I'm pretty sure she's not.
Yeah.
This is a weird this is a weird shift.
I know for a fact.
Why is this necessary?
Again, I don't know why it's necessary, but I know for a fact that the woman playing Macy, who's supposed to be Afro-Latina, isn't. She's Afro-Caribbean. She has no Latin in her. She had to learn Spanish for the show. I have seen her tweets.
Well, I mean, Afro-Caribbean is still closer to being Afro-Latina than just being Latina is close to being Afro-Latina.
Yeah.
In a way, I guess. I don't know.
I have this thing where, because I know people were annoyed about the fact that they're trying to tout these women of color as being Afro-Latina, and yay, there's Afro-Latina on TV and blah, blah, and then the two people who are supposed to be aren't, and people are mad about that. And it's like, listen, they're not played by white girls. Get over it.
True.
At least you have people of color playing people of color.
Yeah.
Let's start there and work our way up.
Yeah. And the mom is actually Cuban, so...
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I just started watching One Day at a Time.
Okay.
It's that Cuban sitcom where they have Cheetah Rivera.
Okay. I don't watch that one.
Okay. It's hilarious. I love it.
Okay.
Because you've got the grandmother who is very... like, proper Catholic old lady. You've got the mom who is a single mom who was, like, in the army in Afghanistan as a nurse and is now a nurse. And then you've got her kid who is gay, dating a gender-neutral person, and is, like, super feminist. And it's just a very interesting sort of, like, generational thing.
Interesting.
And it's not like, the kid's not, I mean, she's a little bit capital M message, but she's also a teenager, so you kind of get it.
As long as it's a conversational capital M message.
Oh, it very much is.
That's I think, again, I think
and
that's
also,
my biggest issue.
Stephen Tobolewsky is the mom's boss, and he's being very Stephen Tobolewsky about it.
Okay. I'm not sure I know who that is.
Groundhog Day? The guy who steps in the puddle?
Ah, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think that was my biggest issue with this show for the first few episodes, is when they were giving you capital M message, they were shoving it down your throat, and it didn't feel conversational, it felt forced. And that's been my issue. And this episode and the next one, spoilers, the next episode, the message that we get is much more conversational, and it feels much less forced.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel like I'm being told you must believe this message. It's just part of conversation. And so it works.
Yeah.
I'm
just so, like, we've already seen the next episode because late on the uptick, winter happened.
Yeah, winter happened. I got sick.
Yeah. Because winter happened.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not entirely certain that changing who Maggie's dad was very necessary to the plot, although it did lead to some interesting revelations in the next episode.
Yeah.
What I am amazed by is this show's continued inability to let anything sit for a couple of episodes.
They don't let you sit with your feelings. They just keep pushing through it.
Not even feelings, just events. Like, if something gets dropped, it's dropped. Like, absolutely dropped, pretty much.
Kind of, but not completely.
The only thing they've let sit is Nico. She was gone for several episodes, and we only are just starting to see her again now.
Yeah.
And we don't know why yet.
Well, but see, here's the thing. As soon as she came in, she was taking pictures of Mel and Jada together, and I immediately was like, okay, so she's after Jada. Why is she after Jada? Because she's not going to be after Mel.
Yeah, that wasn't immediately where it went.
Oh no, I immediately
my brain went to memory wipe no worky.
Yeah, no. And
okay, hang on. No, hang on. Because she's not wearing her glasses. Which was something that happened while she was with Mel. Like, that was an entire plot point. She was wearing glasses so people take her seriously as a cop. But, like, having Mel erased from her life, wouldn't she still be wearing glasses? And that was my brain going, like, okay, something happened with the spell that went awry. What's going on here? Why does she remember? Why is she, like, following...
Yeah, see,
Mel
and I didn't think that at all. I immediately.
Well, I mean, I'm probably wrong, but still.
But I immediately went with, okay, what does she have on Jada? What is she trying to find on Jada?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I went with it. Of okay, if the spell is working, she's got to come back in.
Well, yes, if the spell is working,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm of the assumption that the spell works because
Mm-hmm.
we have changed the world.
Yes, true.
And so I'm assuming the spell has worked. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, she's after Jada. Why is she after Jada?
Yeah.
Like, what did Jada do that the cops are after her?
Uh-huh.
And they're hiding about it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I was like, okay, interesting. So
Yeah, but like you're not letting Harry sit in Tartarus for more than an episode. You're not
I do with Harry
like
and
it just
Tartarus.
moves. Everything just moves so
Everything-
fast with TV nowadays.
Yeah, it does. I love the fact that Harry does the seemingly selfless act of give me all your scorpions.
And see, that happened, and I was thinking, oh, well, the Scorpions are now going to be carrying Maggie's memories instead of Harry's.
That's what I thought too.
Which would have been fun, but apparently no. Once the Scorpions transition, it's about where the Scorpions are, not which Scorpions they were assigned.
Yeah. But that was my thought too, was okay, well, he's either going to get all of her memories or he'll just get more of his. And that's where it was that thought of is he trying to just save Maggie, or does he feel like he deserves this punishment?
Mm-hmm. I mean, probably 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Exactly. And it's a baker's dozen, so,
Yes.
There's
a one extra cherry on top.
Yep. So, but that was my thought on that was it was a lovely selfless act of give me your pain, I will take your pain, because he's there to help them.
Well, also, like, she's essentially going through withdrawal.
From pain.
Well, no, from lack of pain.
Yeah.
Because she had the...
Yeah.
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 The bandage.
Yeah, I did enjoy
She was
that.
a weird zombie Maggie was a fun acting task for Sarah.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it. It didn't last nearly long enough, though.
I think it was a little rushed.
Yeah.
Just a bit rushed. And then at the end, it was the making a spell out of nothing but love, and that conquers the thing. It was
yeah. So the Tartarus set was one I got to see.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was just, like, off in a room.
Nice,
in one of the tinier, like, set painting rooms or whatever. I was like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about this thing, but I can't yet because it hasn't aired.
Yep. It's really funny because I saw the set looked like a dungeon, and then you have this little eye coming down. I was like, they have a dragon guarding the dungeon, and I just went
It gave me kind of Jupiter Ascending flashbacks because you had the lizard guards with the leather jackets.
Yeah,
and that made me happy.
Yeah, I just went to the D&D place because that's where my brain has been.
Okay,
like I now have 4 D&D games in a week. It's every other week, but still, I have 4 in a week, and it's just like, so my brain is just in D&D mode constantly now.
I like the weird sisterly conflict of what you can make a pun, but I can't.
Yeah, they're feeling a lot more like sisters now, which is quite nice.
Helcatraz, paying helimony.
Yeah,
they're not the best of puns, but I enjoy them.
And I enjoy that almost every time Charity comes in, she's wearing yet another white pantsuit.
Mm-hmm. I think next episode she recycles an outfit from previous because I saw the little cape.
Yeah. And again, I like that too, but we'll talk about that.
I like when people recycle outfits. It's nice.
Yeah, it shows that you're actually real. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that like these clothing labels want to showcase their outfits, and that's why they give these extremely expensive clothes for TV wardrobe. But like, it's very annoying when no one wears the same thing twice.
Yes, but can I just say That is the one thing that has been consistent in this entire show from the beginning is the costume department is A+.
Yeah.
The outfits in this show are so cool. Like, I wish I had the body to wear them all. Not that I would wear them all, but I want to wear them all.
Mm-hmm.
Because the costumes are bang on and I love them. They're great. I do enjoy that this episode Maggie gets to be the sad sister.
Yeah.
And Mel is the one that's like, okay, get out of bed. Like, it's that nice little juxtaposition. It was cute. But I do wonder what exactly are the personal consequences of this spell. Like,
probably the backlash when it wears off.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is, like, she gets thrown into Tartarus.
It's like a hangover.
And winds up getting extra pain because she couldn't feel pain.
Well, I mean, she would have gotten that anyway. Being thrown into Tartarus was just, icing on the cake.
Yeah. And it's also interesting to know that pain can apparently stop the mesmerism of Alistar. She stabbed herself in the hand with a freaking letter opener.
Yeah, yeah. No, for a second I thought you were still talking about Maggie, and I'm like, Maggie never got mesmerized. No, Julia. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love the fact that she had the wherewithal to go for the letter opener and stab
happened
herself.
A lot with her.
Yeah,
that was probably their entire fucking relationship.
Probably. That's probably how the relationship finally ended is
Yeah, and I love that this is part of their, like, divorce agreement that he's not allowed to come around.
Yeah, he's not allowed to mesmerize her.
Who's gonna enforce that?
Yeah. Like, what is the demon divorce lawyer that decided this?
Was it Cole? He's a DA.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's so delightfully mundane. Like, this was mentioned in our divorce agreement.
Yeah. I enjoy the fact that they seem to have had, like, a normal relationship at some point, and then it was like the kid was born, and it was like, oh, guess what?
That was probably the only reason Alistair was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, is, like, at some point during their relationship, she learned that if she does pain to herself, he can't mesmerize her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
So what does he do? He steals her letter opener.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got a letter opener.
Nice.
My little sting.
Nice.
It's very cute. I love it.
Does it glow?
Alas, it does not.
Ugh.
But it is nice and hefty.
Oh, yeah, that is quite nice.
And it's actually pretty well balanced for being a miniaturized blade.
I have a, blade.
Like Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, Wesley Snipes' blade.
Yeah.
His sword, I have as a letter opener. Yeah.
That's good shit.
Yeah. It's in a bin somewhere because I have no place to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy.
Oh yeah, I also got a...
You got a ring?
I got a ring.
Is it the ring?
Yes, it is.
Oh my, that is hefty.
I know, right?
Wow.
I also have a silver one.
That fits you really snug, yeah?
It's a little snug, but it gets looser through the day.
Anyway,
back to
sorry. Sidetracked.
Very much.
Oh boy.
Oh. Did I tell you about some of the stuff in the bar, how they blacked out the board game names?
No.
It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Like, I wasn't allowed to take pictures, obviously. But, like, I kept walking around and looking and being like, hey, there's colored duct tape on that box. What? Just, like, blacking out half of the name, but in colors that were according to the scheme of the box.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was very funny, because I'm like, I've literally never seen this on screen. No one will fucking notice this, except possibly Kat.
Yeah, probably. But that's the thing, is if for some reason it winds up on screen, they have to...
Yeah, I know.
They have to do it.
And they have fake ice in the bins behind the bar.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Nice. No, I was going to mention that. That's not this one.
Strangely, a lot of the bottles are actual label, like, booze.
Usually those just get turned around so the labels can't be seen.
They were fully visible.
But...
Like, I didn't turn any of them around, and I wasn't allowed to.
Yes.
I actually turned around a bottle of popcorn kernels just to see what brand it was. And the guy who was walking us around is like, I'm like, okay, I'll put it back. Yeah, put it back.
Yeah, don't fuck up the props
But
continuity.
no, like I turned it around and it was like whited out.
Yeah.
To like prevent you from seeing the brand, but it was still like turned around.
Yeah. But again, it's that in case it gets.
So I guess the booze, they don't care.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that booze is 90% bottle. So, like, even if they blank out the name, you can tell by the bottle what it is. And often, so unless they get some sort of complaint.
Yeah. Also, it is a bar.
Right, it is a bar. And that's the other thing, too, is unless they're going to give them fake names, blanking out booze bottles.
Like Unchopped?
Yes, like Unchopped. Unless they are going to do that, blanking out the bottles makes them more noticeable.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them.
True.
So at that point, it's just hide them in plain sight.
Fair.
The person that they got for the keeper, I immediately...
Dante?
No. In the Sarkana.
Oh, yeah.
I immediately, at first, thought that the chick playing Charity had double duty. Because it looked so much like her.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, so they brought Charity's sister back. I mean, duh. I mean,
yeah,
it's the only thing that makes sense in this thing. But it isn't the same actress. But they got an actress that looks a lot like her.
Yeah.
So I like that casting. That was very nicely done.
Yeah, that was an interesting apparatus. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yep. And I do love that they needed the glowy hell juice to do it. And I'm like, okay, so where is Mel going to find a shit ton of that?
Oh, hey!
Hey, look, it's just sitting there on a shelf.
Yeah, and Alistair didn't give a shit.
Like,
he didn't even notice it was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things in this show that are a la convenience, but we let them slide.
Yeah, I mean, like, also, what's he going to pay attention to that's missing? Hellflame or Harvey.
Yeah.
Which he still couldn't fucking open.
Yeah. Though I do love... The speaking of Dante, I do love that he is
such a burly dude.
He's a huge dude, but they have him in a fucking locksmith place, and I just love that. Like, that's just such a cool concept of like, well, I hold the key to getting in and out of hell.
Yeah, it was very interesting because like after all the Sarkana did to get this woman back from Tartarus, they just know about a guy.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. But granted, like, obviously he's not going to do shit for nothing, and they probably didn't have anything to bargain with. But,
right. I also like that he knew that Harvey wasn't in the can just by smelling it.
Well, yeah.
I love that. Like, there's just these little... And then his fingers turned into the key. Like, there was just so many little things that they did with him as a character that we will probably never see again.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I hope we get to see Alistair's flamey head again, though. It was very Ghost Rider.
It was a bit Ghost Rider. But, like, cool looking.
Ghost Rider's pretty cool looking, but more in a cheesy way.
Yeah. Speaking of fire and stuff, I enjoyed that the logo came out of lava and then looked like bricks.
Yep.
That was a really cool thing. It's the one thing, like I know people are on the internet are like, this show needs a theme song. It's like, no. It really, really doesn't. Not all shows need theme songs.
Yeah, like One Day at a Time has a really cute, like, kind of Afro-Caribbean, well, maybe just Caribbean, like, type of Cubano theme song. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, Netflix has a skip it option because I'm like, I heard it once, it was good, I got to see all their family photos.
I'm good.
I just want to watch the show now.
Yeah, I'm done now. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the skip intro option.
Yeah. It's quite nice.
Which, like, the shortest intro, I think, that is on a show that I watch nowadays where there's, like, action intro and not just a logo thing, British Bake Off.
Yes.
Because it's maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah. Because they're quick about it.
Yeah. Like, it's like...
There are only a few...
and the Double Clicks did... cello cover.
Yes, oh my god, I love it so much.
It's so cute because I obviously knew there was more music than the intro song, but I didn't realize how much more.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just so subliminal. It just like slips in and comforts you. And then when they're playing it on their own, I'm just like, oh, I know where this goes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There are only a few shows that, like, I don't skip intro on, like, 90% of the time. I don't skip intro on Charmed, like, ever, but that's because we find out if Daryl is in the episode or not due to the credits.
Fair.
But, like, things like The West Wing, I just love the music enough that, like, I'm like, yep, I'm going to sit through this.
Yeah, that one's...
Because it's just epic. So, like,
but yeah,
nice.
It's just nowadays, most shows don't have an intro.
Right, because they want to tell more story, and they realize that if they have an intro, then that's cutting into story time and commercial time.
Yeah, so mostly sitcoms.
Yeah.
Sitcoms have a theme because that's supposed to give you, like, the theme of the entire show.
Right. And so I don't want this show to have a theme. I like the fact that the logo changes every time.
Yep.
To give us the theme of the episode, and that's enough.
Or at least to reflect what's happened in the intro.
Yeah, like that's enough.
Or in the pre-roll, I should say.
Yeah, I like it, and I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm. So, the Tartarus set, which is just one unit that I'm pretty sure they shoot separately, is lit from beneath, and I'm pretty sure there's like some kind of pentagram, like painted into the bottom or some shit. Like, that's what it kind of looked like when they were getting the downward angle.
Okay.
And if it wasn't a pentagram, like, there's some black lines, like, on the plexiglass bottom of this set that they just shove a bunch of, like, fake dirt into. Which is interesting.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. I do love still
and
how...
and when they zoomed out, like before the logo, it looked like zits. It looked like blackheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love how Charity does the large purple circle to come in, and I just love when she gave them the can, it came out in its own little purple circle. That was so cute.
And
it was
a little
just
passive aggressive.
That was a little, but it was one of those where it was just like, here, fucking have it.
Yeah.
Make a circle, throw it out there. Mm-hmm. It was cute.
Yeah.
I have when Galvin and Macy were in the office, I did the like MasterCard thing kind of thing. It was getting into the office door using telekinesis power. Cool. Figuring out the password via some powder and a spell word. Very cool. Pretending to just be making out when your boss comes in so she doesn't see that you're stealing her shit. Priceless.
Yep.
I loved that scene. Because it was very well done.
And it was like just the right kind of trope.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
I like Galvin knowing.
I like
so
that happy that he knows now.
He's the straight man. Both literally and figuratively.
Yes.
In this instance, where he's just like adding a little color commentary. Like, they're new to it, but they're a little prepped sort of for it, and they've got Harry like telling them about all the shit, and then Galvin comes in and he's just like, the fuck?
Yeah. I
like, y'all, this is weird. You get that, right? And they're like, yeah, we get it.
Yes. I like the thing about the original Charmed when they had Daryl knowing about their shit is they needed a human.
When the fuck did he even find out? I don't remember.
After Andy died.
So like season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
They needed that human influence where I don't see demons on a daily basis. There might be a human aspect to this.
True.
They needed that, and they got that through Daryl, along with the cop stuff.
Yes.
In this case, we have Galvin knowing, so we get the human element, and we get the science aspect.
Yes.
Where it's somebody else who gets Macy's shit.
He gets to science at Macy. They get to science together, and they'll probably eventually make beautiful sciencey babies.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
I just want to see how nerdy that kid would come out. Because, like, her dad's name is literally Dexter. That makes me very happy. And she works in a lab.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the fact that they have the human counterpart who will know stuff that the girls don't know. And and the other thing is that they have a human male counterpart. Because that's the other thing. It's like Nico would have been the human counterpart and would have been the cop element.
Yeah.
But it would have been yet another woman. And so I like the fact that
I don't personally have a problem
I don't have a problem with that, but I'm saying is I kind of wish that they had just brought Nico into it instead of wiping her memory and starting over, but I'm kind of glad with the way that it's going because...
What I like is not only that it's a human element, but it's a fun element.
Yeah.
Like, he has so much fun.
Yeah. And I like that we get to, like, little inklings of his backstory, too.
Yeah, like that bit where, he sees her, like, throw someone else's trash into the trash, and he's just like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, you go, Galvin.
I did remember that. Hold on, where did I put that in my...
And it's obviously it's not something that's going to come up, but I'm like, that was someone else's trash, which means she just avoided personal gain.
Yes. Though,
which is a non-point, but...
Yeah, but it does make me wonder, though, she did that in public view, and there wasn't a whole lot of glancing happening, and I know that there were people in that. It was like, it makes me wonder.
Yeah, I know.
Like, whenever they do shit like that, when there are people around...
It's like, guys, you gotta look behind you first.
Yeah, do a full 360, all right?
Yeah.
Not just a cursory glance. Let's see. I also enjoy the fact that they are normalizing Harry as a person, even if the memories he received were possibly false.
Yeah.
Or fabricated or changed up or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that we get to see him as being human. And get to see like a different side of him. I love the snoring of the dog.
I'm certain this is not getting picked up on mic.
Probably not.
No, but it's very cute.
Yeah.
I enjoy that it's just such tiny pieces. And it's adding a lot of questions about like who Harry was, and also what the criteria for becoming a white lighter at death is.
Exactly.
Because like in the old show, we knew it was like someone who did good, who like died in a moment of like protecting other people kind of deal. Like they get to become an angel because they're dedicated to it. And like Harry clearly did some shit.
Yeah.
But what happened that either this doesn't matter or maybe that's not what the rules are. Like, I'm super fucking curious.
Yeah.
Now, I get that they wiped his memory, which was not something we had in the original show.
Correct.
Because Leo remembered his life.
Right.
But could that have been just because his life was good?
No, because remember, Leo actually said in an episode that when he became a white lighter, they showed him his past lives.
Yeah.
So they showed him everything.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't just let him keep his memories. They showed him all of his past lives. So they're changing up the rules here where in this
Phoebe's
one...
evil life.
Right. Where in this one, Harry's memory of his past life was erased.
Yeah, blank
to become
slate,
a white lighter.
Very tabula rasa.
Yeah. So I like that change.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're going to get into it more next episode because it does come up more. Because we have more Harry in real world not being tortured to deal with.
Yes, we will talk about next episode because
yeah. Okay, what's next on your note list?
Let's see. I love when I write things because I write my notes while I'm watching the show just in the moment. So I just have in my notes, "Oh Parker, do you really think this is a good idea?" "Oh Maggie, same question." I'm like, what scene was that? I'm not sure what scene that was.
Was that where he came up to talk to her?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Definitely bad idea, Parker. I'm not sure where you got bad idea, Maggie. It was probably the potion edition or whatever. Like, didn't you just get to school and then went back home?
Yeah. 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 Because that was right before
and I like that the
Macy and
the
Galvin
potion
the office.
Once it takes effect looks like a bandage.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then it got bigger when she added more.
That was cute too.
Yeah.
It took me a moment to realize that the stuff that she slathered on her arm was green.
It looked like green tea.
Yeah. It because my brain with greens and blues.
Yes,
it screws me up a lot.
I know.
But I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's like gross gray mush. And then like right before it became the bandage, it's like, oh no, it's green. Oh, okay. And then I went back and rewatched the scene now knowing that it was green. I'm like, okay, now it just looks gross. It's like, yes, put guacamole on your arm. All right.
No, it really just did look like green tea to me.
Yeah, it was like green mush.
Like they just put a very small amount of matcha.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
A very small amount of water in matcha powder.
Yeah, it made me laugh that she put it on with a makeup brush.
I know. Like, how are you going to fucking clean that?
Yeah.
Well, obviously we know how you're going to fucking clean that, but like...
But, you know, how you clean anything. But it just made me laugh that she grabbed a makeup brush to put it on. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have done that, but all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's see. I enjoy the fact that Maggie's powers don't work because she can't feel.
Yeah. Emotional ice pack.
Yeah.
Numbs everything.
That was really cool. I liked that.
The consequence is that she gets tossed into Tartarus.
Yeah.
Into a black hole. Black head. Into a black head.
I also like that they set up at the beginning Charity seeing the picture of Alistair going, he looks familiar, but I don't know why. And then later on, it was like, oh, fuck, that's why I know him, because of the fucking paint can.
Yeah.
He must be super powerful because no one could mesmerize me before.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, awesome. That is good to know that he is super powerful. We already knew that, but that's good to know that he's even worse than we thought.
Yep. And has a flamey head when he wants.
Yeah.
That fight scene was interesting.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about that. It was interesting.
I enjoy that that Macy was able to just stab him in the face.
Yeah.
And the way that he shows off his lovely demon flamey head is by
dragging it down.
Dragging the thing down his face and just peeling the skin back. I'm like, oh, that's such a cool effect. Oh.
Yeah.
I also like that because in Tartarus, for some reason, Maggie and Harry were able to talk to each other. So they... Probably
the two most recent editions, they just fill them up as they get there.
Yeah, so they were super close to each other, apparently. And his, let love be your strength. And as soon as he said it, I'm like, well, that's going to come back to play.
In like 5 minutes.
Because that's how this show works.
Uh-huh.
We start something at the beginning and it gets paid off at the end.
Anything sit, nothing gets to steep.
Yep.
We just dip the tea bag once and hey, there's your tea.
Yep. So when it does come back, Maggie realizes that her passive power can still be awesome because love is also her power.
Yeah, that didn't really get explained.
Not so much.
And I'm curious to see whether or not they'll continue to investigate it because whatever the fuck she did was really cool.
It was a lovely, shiny purple ball of love.
Yeah, and like just the way their arms were all clasping together.
Yeah.
And it was a wordless spell type thingy. It was like she was drawing on the powers of her sisters to make a thing, and she didn't even know what she made.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I enjoy the fact that they're still learning their powers.
Yeah.
And so when something new happens, even they're like, holy fuck, that worked. And I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's like not only is she an empath, but she can kind of siphon a little. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Which would be a fun passive power or a fun active power for an empath.
Yes.
/ telepath.
Yeah. The other thing that I absolutely loved, and I loved the way that I wrote my notes on this, was them doing their little purple glowy orb of love, and Alistair being like, this can't be possible. And in my notes I wrote, really? They're the fucking charmed ones, you moron.
Anything is possible when you've got the charmed ones.
It's like, dude, they're literally here to get rid of you. That is the point of their existence. Is to be the ones that can do the thing that no one else has been able to do. This can't be possible. They're the fucking charmed ones, you moron.
Yes. Turn off your little computer thingy. Their power level is over 9,000. Just accept it.
Yes.
Move on.
Yes.
Also, it was not immediately clear what had happened to him as a result of that glowy thing. Like, it had to be explained because visually it looked like he just completely disappeared.
Yeah.
like, in a way that we've never seen him do before.
Right.
So that would have been nice to have it be a little more visually clear how that had happened.
Yeah. Like, is he vanquished? Is he not vanquished? Did they just send him someplace? Like,
yeah, they
what
had
happened?
to have Parker come by and be like, hey, what'd you do? My dad skipped town.
Yeah. So, but I'm still not completely sure if he's actually been vanquished or not.
No, he hasn't been vanquished. That's the problem.
Like,
Because Parker had to come by and say, my dad is skipping town. Like, not that he's gone already.
oh, that's right. He did do it in
But that
present
he's
tense,
apparently
didn't it?
getting together his shit and leaving.
That's right.
Because he's scared.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so
So somehow he went through the wall.
yeah. So it's like they
And, like,
they,
jangled a bunch of keys or something.
they like banished him or something.
Through the wall.
Yeah.
But, like, Kitty Pryde style. Not,
Kool-Aid
Juggernaut
Man.
style.
I was
No, I
not,
wanted-
not Kool-Aid Man style.
No, I wanted to stay in the X-Men verse.
Yeah. Oh, so this was the other bit I love in my notes. We get Mel giving the glowy hell juice and forsaking the elders because she trusts the hot chick. This'll end well.
Mm-hmm. Like, you trust her. You've known her 3 weeks? 4?
Yeah. Yep.
Tops?
And the kiss that's been 10 episodes in the making.
Yeah.
And this is again where it was, Nico makes a comeback. It's like, because of course she does, but she's got to be after Jada, not Mel, right? Like, it was the only thing that made sense.
Who knows? It's still not clear from the next episode. I mean, it's not entirely clear. We know what she says, but it's not entirely clear for me.
I don't know.
Actions speak louder than words, is all I'm saying.
I guess. And then we get in the final episode of learning that Maggie and Macy share a father, but
Mel and Maggie don't.
Mel is the odd one out, which I kind of enjoy that, but it's okay, so is Ray Mel's dad?
Yes.
Are we positive of this?
We were introduced to Ray as being Mel and Maggie's dad, who they call Ray because he's cool like that. And he's also very distant.
Yeah.
So I guess Ray was there for a bit of their childhood and then fucked off. I think that was explained in the Christmas episode, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while.
No, I guess he, like, left when Maggie was kind of little. But Mel was, like, old enough to remember and be like, yeah, bye.
Yeah. So
Felicia.
So we get Ray being Mel's father, but Dexter being Maggie and Macy's father.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's quite interesting. And this is where, like, people will be, if you've listened to this recap before and you know my feelings on the past 9 episodes, this is going to surprise the fuck out of you. But this is my favorite episode to date. The final reveal of the switch up twist with the fathers, I would actually give this episode an 8 out of 10. Which, like, because it gave me more questions than answers.
That's, like, several above any rating you've ever given on
yeah.
this show. Because
Yeah.
I think the highest you've given before was, what, a 5 or 6?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the highest was a 6. I honestly don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it gave me more questions than answers,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me actively want to come back and watch the next one to figure out how the fuck this is gonna affect things.
Yeah.
And, like, it made me want to see the show again.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're giving Mel more of a personality. They're letting her be more dimensional than, just a man-hating lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not shoving a message down your throat. It's much more conversational with everything. And so it's finally growing in its level of enjoyment. It shouldn't take 10 episodes for me to get into a show. Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
again, that's going to be subjective based on who you are.
Exactly. And I think it is partially because, yes, I have seen the original, and you know, so I was giving it, I wasn't giving it a completely fair shake, and I get that, and I completely own up to that of, you know, yes, I was comparing it and contrasting and all this whatever, but I was trying very hard to be as unbiased as possible, and just, you know, while I was still comparing, well, they did this and this, and they did this in the original, I was trying to give this show, I'm watching it for what it is, and that's why it was so low for me, because it's like, comparing it to the original had a better message in the beginning. Like, it was about the sisters and about this thing.
Yeah.
And so because they started this show with one of the sisters already being an outsider, I think was also part of the issue.
Yeah.
Was like, it already had a strike against it because, well,
it felt
we're
a
going to
little
get
more adversarial.
Yeah,
which,
we're
granted, when you think
get
about the first few episodes of the original series, it was very adversarial between two of the sisters, but for sisterly reasons, not for like
we don't know you
stranger
reasons. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, is this show already had a small strike against it, because
it's actually really funny that we are currently in the beginning of season 4 with the original series right now.
Right.
Because we have just gone through that with the original series, and now we're going through it with the reboot.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is that because we're now in season 4 and getting that in season 4.
Yeah, I think the best part is that it's not mirroring that really at all.
No, it isn't. And I like that a lot.
It's not an identical situation, but it's like, hey, we've just found out you're our sister after we've had a huge loss.
Right.
How we deal.
Right.
And it's not turning out remotely the same way.
No, and again, that's why I say is with the reboot, the fact that they haven't been sisters, and so there's a lot of you know, we don't really know you and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. It made it feel a little less cohesive, I guess would be the word.
Okay.
And they're finally getting into that, like, sister bonding and sister moments and like being a family.
Yeah.
And then they throw this twist at the end of like, hey, you know how you thought I was the odd one out? Guess what? I'm not. This one that you spent your entire life with, she's the actual odd one out. Like, it's that moment where you're just like, wait, fuck, what? Okay, now I have to come back.
Things are not as you thought they were.
Yeah, and so for me, that moment where I was like, okay, well, now I need to know what happens next. I need to come back. I need to see the next one. I need to know what's happening. How is this all going to play out? How is this going to ruin their lives? You know, little things.
I just remembered something that happened that we haven't talked about in this episode.
Okay.
When Macy and Galvin are breaking into Dr. Wagner's office and looking at the computer, they see her data of like someone half demon, like they immediately intuit that half demon and human DNA. And they're like, oh, she's trying to turn people into demons. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's one way to interpret that. And it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a right conclusion, but it's so close to being right without actually being right that it's very wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Because wasn't the whole point of it was that she was trying to fix her son?
Yes, but like, true, the fix was to turn him into a full demon so he wouldn't be in like a horrific amount of pain.
Right.
But also, seeing half demon DNA and human DNA next to each other without some kind of a, hey, the human sections fit up in this.
Yeah. Like, this is the same person.
Does not lead to the conclusion of they're turning humans into demons. Also, I'm a little biased because the way we read in the United States is left to right, and they had the demon on the left and the human on the right. So the visual conclusion, for me at least, like, the shortcut of that, the heuristics would be like, oh, they're turning demons into, like, half demon into human.
Yeah.
But I understand that's completely not based on anything that's actually in the show. It's just a visual heuristic.
Right.
But yeah, like, that was just one little nugget where Macy jumps to a conclusion and Galvin doesn't know enough to be like,
maybe not.
Hey, slow down.
Yeah.
He just goes along with it, and then Dr. Wagner's there and they have to mac.
Yeah. I also enjoy that in this episode she finally tells him that she's a virgin. And he doesn't take it very well, but like he doesn't
take it badly.
Yeah, he doesn't take it badly. He just is like,
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, like it's one of those where, like, it could have been worse. He could have reacted way worse.
It feels very, like, a lot of times when I have to tell people that my mom is dead.
Yes.
And then I have to...
They immediately are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, it's fine, we weren't close. And then they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're very like, yeah, and I imagine you have a similar thing when you tell people that you've had cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just go, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm good. 20 years, I'm good. Like, you know, but like the dead thing, I remember like a couple years after my grandfather died, somebody called asking for my grandfather, and I'm like, I'm sorry, he's dead. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay, you didn't kill him, because that's just where my brain went. You know, like that's just where I was like, it's okay, you didn't kill him. Like,
yeah, my favorite conversation with this was, having to call, I think, Apple. To get her computer unlocked because we didn't know what her password was for a specific thing, so we had to change like the system password to something that all of us could access when we needed to. And so I'm on the phone because at this point she wasn't actually dead. She was like very close, but she wasn't actually dead. She was just in hospice care. And we're like, so here's the deal. And I had to do this long-winded explanation of like, we can't ask her. She's not dead. She's just in the next room, unable to speak. So, like, can we please just walk me through this? Yeah. And, like, I can give you whatever information you need. Like, I have a couple of her sisters here. We can work through it. But, like, it's gonna be awkward.
Help a girl out.
And that lady who was helping me out was very sweet about it. And after the initial, like, oh... Oh, okay, I see what you need me to do. Like, very task-oriented lady. Love her. Don't remember her name.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and in one of them, they basically say that you should have a folder on your computer that's a, if I die, open this kind of folder, and it's like all your passwords and all the things that people would need to know for all the things. And I'm like, yeah, but that entails that they're able to get into your computer in the first place.
True.
So, you know, maybe not so much.
Yeah. Like, I do have a file on my phone that's a bunch of passwords, but it's not all of them. And I have my computers remember a lot of the other ones. Yep. And, like, I have been mocked before for how I won't let people see my phone password.
I just use my finger.
I can't do that anymore.
Why not? Oh, right.
It doesn't have it.
I forgot you have the...
Because I have the one where they're like, oh yeah, you can use Face ID. And I'm like, you think I'm gonna fucking do that? No. That's a privacy issue, bitch.
No, I do not need you to open at my face. Thanks, though.
Yeah, I would rather have a 6-digit passcode. Thank you.
Yeah.
However, people who know me will not be surprised to find out what the actual fucking passcode is. I'm not gonna share it. On mic.
I was gonna say, and I am perfectly fine with not knowing unless you want to tell me for any reason.
It's
because
you'll understand once I say what it is. But yeah.
But yeah, no, like mine. That's the one thing I love about my phone is I only have a 4-digit password because I use my thumbprint. You know, I use my fingerprint to get into it. But it's really funny because like. You would have to know my past to have a clue as to what my thing would be to get into my phone because no one would think that it would be that. Yeah.
Yeah, when mine was a 4-digit, it was very standard, very easily guessable by people because it was, you know, like related to me in my past. Not even my like private past, it was very public past. Yeah. And my mom's was the same way. Like, I could hack into her phone, no problem. Now it's completely impersonal. Except if you know me.
Well, there you go. Anyway,
let's get off of this extremely tangenty tangent.
Yes.
Are we done here?
I think so. I mean,
yeah, because you gave your rating and everything.
I did, yeah. I love the fact that it has finally become a show that I'm like, okay, I don't dread watching. I don't like, I'm not just like, okay, I have to get through this. It's finally become a show where it's like, well, okay, wait, what the fuck is going to happen next? What is going on? Mm-hmm. And I enjoy
And right
that.
now, like, okay, when's the next episode airing?
Yeah,
because like we had the long hiatus over the holidays,
right?
And now we have a couple weeks off because Super
Bowl and the Grammys.
Oh, and the Grammys. Okay, I wasn't sure what the second one was.
Yeah. Though it's very funny because I get the TV guide, like the physical actual magazine of the TV guide. And in the TV guide, it says that the episode on the 10th is a new one. I'm like, but it's not though. It's not though.
No.
But I just thought that was very funny. It's like, do you remember when we had to look shit up in the TV guide? Like the physical thing? There was no way to look up online for anything.
Yep. I remember that.
I was going to say the good old days, but not so much.
No, it was very annoying. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you didn't know the channel, like if you were in a different city and you didn't know what channel it was on, you had to spend all fucking day looking through the listing.
Yep.
Gosh. I do miss having cable, if only so that I would be able to actually DVR the shit I want to watch.
Yeah. I remember having to do like VCR, like setting up the VCR to record things and whatever, and making sure you had enough room on the videotape so you didn't cut off the thing. And
it was so great. My mom got sick and I got to delete 90% of her recordings. Because I'm like, she's not going to remember the show anyway.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I can delete all of Rizzoli and Isles. This is great.
Oh, but that was such a good show.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to get into it.
Oh, you might want to go back and watch it. It was a good show.
Look, all I know is that they should date.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, that was literally the first thing. I walk into the room, she's watching Rizzoli and Isles, and I'm seeing the usual, like, nerd cop combo, only this time it's two ladies, and I'm like, well, I know where this would go if it were a guy and a girl, so obviously these two need to fuck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my mom looks at me and she's like, but they're not gay. And I'm like, maybe they're bi. Don't care.
Yeah. But, you know, they don't. And it's one of those where Rizzoli and Isles...
It's like, don't blame me. Blame the trope that's leading me to this very obvious conclusion that they have chemistry.
Yeah.
Or the show wouldn't work.
Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing. Like, Rizzoli and Isles, the fact that they don't have a relationship, it kind of reminds me of Me and You. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, we work really great as friends. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's this, like, you know, will they, won't they kind of, like, thought process in that, like, they're very alike.
I don't feel a will they, won't they.
No. That's not.
Oh, you mean for Rizzoli now?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I was like, I'm not meaning
you. need to clarify because...
I apologize. I didn't mean between you and me.
Clarify your protons? Protons.
Clarify the names. I apologize. I didn't mean will they, won't they between you and me. I meant will they, won't they between Rizzoli and Isles.
Yes. Okay.
I apologize.
Clarify your pronouns, girl.
Yes. I apologize. That was my fault. But it's that they have this, like, will they, won't they thing because they're both so alike and they blah, blah, blah. And it's like for you and me, it's like there isn't that like sexual tension of will they, won't they, but there's that, like, they're definitely going to be friends for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, they're a lot alike, but they're also not a lot alike. Mm-hmm. And so they work well together. And so for me, like, I never really thought about Rizzoli and Isles as a couple other than if this were a guy and a girl, they would absolutely get together. Cough, cough, bones, cough, cough.
Well, also, I did walk in on a couple of... Yeah, it is very bones. I did walk in a couple of lines where Moira... I forget if that's Rizzoli or Isles. I think it's Isles.
Yes. It's Jane Rizzoli.
Yes. I figured... I just... My brain went... One of them is Moira and the other one's Italian. That's all I got.
Oh, I love it.
So Rizzoli is the Italian one.
Yes.
That's all I got.
I love it.
But she was, like, mentioning her previous sex life in the episode, I guess. And then Rizzoli was, like, doing eyebrows. And I'm like, they should fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I like the fact that they didn't get them together, but only because...
It's so good, though.
I know, but only because if they had gotten them together, it absolutely would have been fan pandering in that point because they are two straight women. They were portrayed that way. And so, like, if there had been any inkling that one of them was bi, then maybe. But, like...
I don't know. I got a vibe off of Moira.
Anyway, we have tangented completely onto a different show.
Yes, we have.
So that's a thing that happened. I don't remember how we end this. Did we end this? I don't know.
We have no sign off.
Okay.